Hey, this is Sully for the podcast, The Indefensible Middle Ground. And last year in June, I was 296 pounds. You know what? Let's just go ahead and say 300 pounds. Here's some pictures of me with my brother, and we're repping the podcast, and also repping, personally me, repping being darn near 300 pounds. And then I started doing the keto diet, and now I am weighing in the 230s. So here is a cooking show about how I lost weight and how you can too. So enjoy our first episode of Keto Cooking Sundays. For the podcast, and today we're going to do our first Keto Cooking Sunday. Keto is a special type of diet that helps you lose weight by training your body to burn fat by eating a lot of fat and protein. So this is a little protein heavy meal, very classic. It's stuffed peppers, and I'm gonna be cooking it for you right now. Two different types. Stay tuned. So here we have our ingredients. Some ground chuck. I picked this up from Walmart. You get it from your freshest grocer. Here we have a onion. Now you see this is a large onion. We're not going to use a lot of onion just because it says online that a medium onion can have 10 grams, so this is a large onion. We don't know how much it has, but just because we know they can be very high in carbs, we're going to use this sparingly. We have some cheddar cheese. Now this is aged cheddar, so generally is safe for people who are lactose intolerant like myself. As well, it is going to be very, very low carb because it's cultured cheese. A lot of cheese is going to be very low carb. Now you do want to look this up when you're in stores, because when they package cheese in stores, sometimes they put starch in the packaging or in the cheese itself to keep it from clumping. So that's where cheese can be 1 gram of carb. If you go to Walmart, you can find a really nice type of cheese called Joseph Farms, which is you can buy giant clumps of cheddar. Giant blocks of cheddar, I should say, and that has incredible zero carb. That's what I normally have. This I got from the farmers market. This is wonderful, so support local farms as well. Then we have some Pablano Peppers and some bell peppers, and then we have these here. These are my favorite condiments. Hot sauce from Taco Bell. You might be like, "Oh, Taco Bell, that's not legit." Well, it's zero carb, so I don't really care how legit it is. It is delicious, zero carb hot sauce. We're going to be using the hot sauce as what's going to make this into the taco meat that's going to go inside the peppers. So, and then this is going to be sort of the wet burrito sauce that's going to go on top. So, also, in order to keep my hair out of the food, you see I have long hair like Fabio, and I put a nice bandana on my head to keep my hair out of the food. Alright, and of course, can't forget salt. Out in brown Tommy there. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting one of the peppers here, showing you how this works. Yeah, it's just like carving a pumpkin, if anybody's ever done that. Alright. And should follow good knife etiquette. Don't point the knife towards you. And look it around here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Pops out like a plug. I'll put it over here with the rest. See how the final product is smooth there? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get these white parts out. White parts, I'm gonna up here, and the seeds. I'm gonna keep that good green bell pepper meat in there. I like that, because this bell pepper is not just going to be tasty. It needs to be a weight-bearing structure. It's going to hold everything together, which is something that you miss in the keto diet, since you don't have bread. since you don't have bread, you don't have corn, you don't have corn tortillas, you don't have stuff that holds your meat in there. You don't have the burro, the burrito. You don't have that. So stuffed bell peppers are something that really reminds you and reminds you of that food that defines Tex-Mex and Americana, which is like sandwiches and burritos and tacos. And this is something that you can still have on the keto diet without having to resort to soul bread and stuff like that. You know, those interesting little alchemical devices that we do to trick the system with protein powder and all that. This is something we don't need to do that. We don't need to do any crazy alchemy. We can still just enjoy a recipe that we've always enjoyed, the way we've enjoyed it. Look at that. It's a nice, beautiful little bowl. So there's a few different ways to do chili relleno with Pablano peppers. There's one where you can just sort of like make a boat and do like 2 with 1, and you can also just sort of do it like a stuffed pepper. Okay. Yeah, looks like we got something we can jam some sauce and some beef down into. I want this to be extra saucy, so when I get this one all done, it's going to have a lot of extra sauce in it. Look at that! Look at that! Like a pretty little pepper pumpkin. And as well, here's a very small amount of onions to season the meat with. And let's go to the meat. Oh, let's not forget, the oven needs to be preheating while you're doing this. Our oven is preheating to 350 degrees as we speak. Right now, it's getting up there because when we get done with the meat, we got to stuff it in the bell peppers and jam it in the oven with the cheese on top there. So it's preheating to 350 degrees, so we can do that. Oiling here that we're going to use to blanch the peppers, and then we have the pot here, which we're going to be. I got some oil in there now. I use oil because I don't use lard. But if you do use lard has a lot of fat. It helps keep the fat into what you're doing, which is actually very important with the keto diet. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the meat and pop this in here. And we are going to try to keep the meat as fatty as we can. Set this here. And we got a nice wood spoon to squish it out with. And alright, go ahead and show what I'm doing here. So we just have that little bit of oil down at the bottom, or if you want to use lard, that also works, or if you got tallow or lard to keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. And just sort of keep spreading it out. It'll start cooking, and you wanna keep that fat lubricating the pan. I'm gonna put some salt in this. And then we're gonna put our hot sauce in it as well. I'm going to put the hot sauce in there when it cooks just a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to put the hot sauce in here. Use a lot of this. As I pointed out before, this has 0 carbs. And you're going to want this to be sort of wet because you're going to get... You want this to be a little wet and runny, and that's good. That's fine, because remember, this is all going to be poured into your peppers, and you want your peppers to be filled up with this. You don't want any space in there. So you want this to be wet and runny and fatty, because that fat is what your body needs to train itself to burn the fat when you go into ketosis. So let's we still got some red we still got some meat that's red from being raw. Okay, and we're going to let this cook for just a little bit. I am going to put the lid on this, and we are going to blanch the peppers a little bit while that cooks. Give that, show the flame under here so we can say it. We don't have it as high as it could go. We have it about a 3 out of 10, or yeah, we'll put it about a 3 out of 10. So it's doing its thing while we're working on the peppers. Look at that. This is coming along here. Now the peppers are in the pot here, boiling. We're only keeping there for about 5 minutes because we're not really trying to boil the peppers. We're not trying to cook the peppers. We're just trying to soften them up a little bit before we bake them. So we're trying to hydrate the peppers. Remember, hydration is key. Fat is important in this diet. That's why this is nice and fatty. And hydration is important, which is why these are getting a lot of water. So, just so you know, I weighed in today at 235. Now, my first weigh-in at a doctor's office last year was 296. That was at my primary care doctor's office. 296 to 235. So that's a weight loss of 61 pounds, and I did it by eating like this. I didn't do it by running marathons. I didn't do it by eating rice cakes. I did it by eating cheese and meat and peppers. Basically the stuff that I like. Bread just slowed me down. I would avoid bread anyway because I liked the meat and the cheese. So, look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Onions in here. Let this simmer with onions in it for a little bit. For a couple minutes here. Look at that, good beef fat. That's great. With those onions, those peppers. And you know what? I am going to add a little bit of Tabasco. Tabasco is 0 carbs as well. Generally, a lot of these, because all this has is distilled vinegar, red pepper, and salt. So we're going to toss a little bit of this in there. Just give that little bit of extra kick. And it tastes like taco sauce, but it's not exactly as spicy as I'd like it, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And this is just seasoning. This is not the most vital part. If you don't want the onions in there, don't put the onions in there. If you don't want it to be extra spicy, don't put the Tabasco in there. Simple stuff. But I feel like it's perfectly salted. It's perfectly taco seasoned. I just wanted to add a little bit of extra spice and the onions. Remember, with different keto diets, it'll change with how much you're allowed to have carb wise. Personally, I only do 20 carbs a day, and I try to get that from green vegetables or some onions. So these are my green vegetables. These are my onions. Boom, done. All right. Now we're going to look at our peppers. They look bueno. So let's go ahead and grab our tongs and start pulling them out of here. With our pan ready, we got a pan ready, so we can pull it out of here and put them right, stuff them, and put them in the oven. Right. So I'm gonna be grating the cheese here. That's gonna go on the top of the peppers. And if you see, I have the pan ready. The beef is still simmering with the onions in there for flavoring while I do this. And we have the Pablano peppers and the bell peppers right next to me here. They are drying out You don't want them to be physically wet on the outside. You want them to be malleable. You want them to be hydrated, but you don't want them to be wet. So you just want them to be, because you don't want to be like soggy when they're being baked. All right, so we've got the peppers, stuffing them, laying them out there. These are perfect. Perfect little weight-bearing structures. And make sure to get the fat in there. You don't want to sift that fat out. You want that fat as part of this, so it soaks into the membranes of the pepper. Plop your pepper on there. Plop your pepper on there and toss it right there. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That looks good. Alright. Now, okay. Now we're gonna get these chili rellenos. I do these a little different, since these are going to be the open face ones. We're going to have some taco sauce. It's going to be baked onto the cheese. For the open face one here, we're going to put some taco sauce on the cheese there. Alright. And for the second open face one, this is going to be my super spicy one. The special one that I make just for me to burn myself out here. I love enjoying a good super spicy burn occasionally. And you're not going to get that with any conventional hot sauce. You're gonna need to go to the specialty hot sauces for that. And this is my favorite. This is Scorpion Pepper. This is a great brand there, the Tropical Pepper Co. They will find the super spicy. So we're gonna put some of that on the beef. Oh, that's too much. That's a lot. Wow. Okay. So this is gonna be the spiciest chili relleno ever. I'm very, very happy with that. Okay. And I like to zoom in on those shoulders there. Very simply, how to mark something that you got that's super spicy. Put a little road sign on it. Very simply. Put a little jalapeno. A little jalapeno pepper. Lets people know this is the super spicy one. This one's mild. This one's super spicy. Boom. And now for my my little pepper pumpkin. My favorite here. We're gonna put some hot sauce down, or some taco sauce down in there. Real saucy, squishy. There we go. Now we'll put the fatty meat down in there. Put a little bit more of this Taco Bell sauce in there. Taco Bell, you should put this on your menu. Add a little bit more cheese down in there. Alright. We got our lid to put on this. And this one needs to be kind of propped up in here. Kind of stays sort of perfectly on there. And I'm gonna cover it in cheese. Hopefully that cheese will sort of help seal the door shut. Seal the pepper shut there a little bit. And it'll peel off easily. And we'll drip a little bit of this over there to season the outside. We are ready to pop this in the oven. Final result here of the baking, 350 for 6 minutes. We have The cheese perfectly melted over the seasoned beef. This is my super spicy one. See, a lot of the cheese melted off here, and this is a lot of oil that came out of the one that's on its side. Obviously, this one's going to be a little leaner than the others, but it should still plate nicely. So even though it's a little ugly in the pan, let's see how they plate. Can't wait. So this is the final product here. For me, this is my meal. Now look, we got my Pablano pumpkin here, so beautifully plated. The chili relleno, open face, and then this one, let me tell you my course of action. I am going to eat this one, super spicy, and this one, and I'll leave this one at the end, and I'm going to pick it up. I'm not going to show you this, it's going to be disgusting. I'm going to pick it up and eat it like an apple, okay? Like just, because I miss that. I miss that about this diet. I miss eating with my hands. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's go ahead and take a taste of the super spicy. Remember, this one has scorpion pepper. This is going to be my first. Okay. Es muy caliente and muy delicioso. Keep strong on your diet. Enjoy some keto cooking. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of resources out there for you. And I'm going to try to do these videos every week. So enjoy KCS, Keto Cooking Sunday. This has been Sully for thepodcast.com. And keep cooking it out. Cheers. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that. Please like this video and subscribe. Feel free to comment other types of food that you would like to see me cooking for Keto Cooking Sunday. So, like I said, like and subscribe. If you subscribe, that helps me out. If you like, that makes me feel good. So, like and subscribe, and tune in next week for another Keto Cooking Sunday.